Dealing with algebra and we're solving for a variable, we often get stuck in this idea that there's only one right way to go about solving a problem. You learn about these steps and you follow them, and we have to remember that that's not true. There are many ways to solve every problem. And this question right here, they're asking us that Omar, they say he wants to solve this equation, and the equation is 3x minus 2 is 10. And then it says, which steps could Omar follow to find the solution? So I don't like this question because they're asking us to think about which of these is the right way to do it. Well, there is a right way to do it, but there are many right ways. So let's just look at these and see which of them don't make sense. So F, add 2 to both sides. Okay, you could do that because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So let's just try that. If I add 2 here and here, negative 2 plus 2, that's 0, so 3x equals 12. 10 plus 2 is 12. Then divide both sides by 3. So if I divide 3x divided by 3, I'll get x. And 12 divided by 3, I get 4. So x would be 4, and that seemed okay to me, so I'm going to circle F for now and see if I like that. Next it says divide both sides by 3. Well, there's no reason you can't do that. Divide both sides by 3. Let's see what happens though. It might not help us, but you can do it. 3x minus 2, if we divide that whole thing by 3, we divide each part by 3. And then same thing on this side. So now we have 10 thirds, which is equal to 3 1/3. And 2 divided by 3 will leave as 2 thirds. 3x divided by 3 is x. So now, if you see what happens, this is not wrong, and we're almost there. I think it made it a little bit tougher, but we can do this. Say next to add 2 to both sides. So we would have x minus 2 thirds plus 2, which I'm going to write as 6 thirds. That equals, I'm going to rewrite this again as 10 thirds because I want to add, plus 6 thirds. I'm adding 2 to both sides. 6 over 3 is 2. So now I would have 16 thirds equals, here we have x minus 2 over 3 plus 6 over 3. So how do we do that? Well, we have minus 2 thirds plus 6 thirds, and that is 4 thirds. So you notice that we're almost done solving this problem, and we could keep solving it, and maybe I'll even show that, but these steps weren't enough to solve the problem, and in fact it kind of took us on a sidetrack. But I guess let's finish it. Let me show you that it doesn't matter how you go about solving these problems, you can always find the answer. So we have x plus 4 thirds equals 16 thirds. How could we find x? Well, x plus 4 thirds is 16 thirds, so then 16 thirds minus 4 thirds would give me x. If you think about, if we had x plus 4 equals 9, well then 9 minus 4 is equal to x, because x is 5. Same thing here, except we have fractions. X plus this gives me that. So this minus this will give me x. 16 thirds minus 4 thirds is 12 thirds. And x equals 12 thirds. 12 thirds is 12 divided by 3. And that's 4, because 4 3's going into 12. And see, we got the same answer. It just took a little bit longer. And I guess you could say that this answer's out because these two steps aren't enough to solve it. Same thing in these next two. Subtracting 2 from both sides. It might take us on a detour, but these two steps are not enough to solve the problem. Multiply both sides by 3, then subtract 2. So again, if we went through and did this, we would get sidetracked and we would not get the right answer. We could do these things because again, I don't want to talk too much about this, but we're multiplying both sides, we're subtracting from both sides, we're dividing both sides, and subtracting both sides. That's all fine. As long as we're doing whatever operation we do, we need to do it to both sides. It might take us a little bit longer. But in these cases, these are wrong just because these steps aren't enough to solve the problem. f in this first choice, it is enough.